Thank you, Bruce. Governor, I'm Gerhard Papenfus, National Employers Association of South Africa. We're talking about inclusion of as many people as possible in the economy, but also in the world of work. Our experience is that government is doing everything possible to keep people out of jobs. High wages, collective bargaining structures that is structured in such a way that small businesses are marginalized. Jobs are protected. It's difficult to dismiss. Employers are discouraged from employing. And we see the result of that. So we can do whatever we want, but if employers don't want to employ, they will not employ. That's one defense mechanism that employers have, is if they don't want to employ, they will not employ.
A question, please.
The question is, are you frustrated by it? Are you telling them that you are frustrated by it, and do they hear you?
That's 3 questions. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Gerhard.
You know, one of the constraints of the South African economy is the insider-outsider problem. We talk a lot about small to medium-sized enterprises. And then you've got to be asking, what does conduct of policy mean for small to medium-sized enterprises? It becomes a very important thing. In 2006, the OECD did a study of structural constraints in South African markets. And it actually established that the problem of labor markets and the problem of wages in the South African economy stems from the product market problems. What does that mean?
Please.
What it means is that big business and big labor are able to reach a collective bargaining agreement, extend it to the other players, and thus by so doing inhibit competition. Now, the notion that says that we are just creating jobs, or we must be creating jobs, actually would like to turn it on its head. I wouldn't ask anyone here in business, who amongst you wakes up in the morning and say that I'm going to my office to create jobs? You create businesses, and because you have created businesses, jobs get created. So
are we focusing on the wrong kind of jobs? Anne Bernstein at the Center for Development and Enterprise is on a mission right now, done deep-level research, and at its very core, any job is better than no job, and no job is the scenario that far too many South Africans find themselves in. Do we need to get any job at any rate in South Africa, or do we need to stick to the agenda of decent jobs, decent pay? Because that's not including nearly enough South Africans into the network. I think that's roughly the point that Gerhard is trying to make there.
Look, I think that we've got to be alive to where we come from. We do need the jobs. And you're right, it's saying that we must try and create as many jobs as we can. But back to the issue that we were talking about, we wanted financial inclusion. Does it mean that you allow abuses because you wanted financial inclusion? The same issue goes with labor. The fact that you want jobs, would you tolerate abuses in the workplace because you want to create any job? And I don't think that is what we are talking about. And I don't think that that is what the gentleman was raising either. He was not promoting abusive practices in the workplace. What he had raised, which is is the costs to small businesses of maintaining the jobs that they are having. And that is a very important conversation for us to have.
Is one that you are having?
Well, you know that my job is to worry about monetary policy, and the stuff that I've talked about structural reform. That is where this conversation has to be taking place.
But is the Reserve Bank participating in that conversation at that level? Saying we need the structural reform. Here's somebody called Gerhard who's concerned, and he's talking about jobs, and we've got Anne Bernstein and others talking about jobs. Are you part of that conversation, or is it out of your mandate?
Well, government is in that conversation. We are not quite part of that conversation, because we have got a responsibility that we have been tasked with. Do we have views about it? Of course, we will always have views as long as it is about the economy. But to protect our own independence, we do not comment about what
it's
other
the get out of jail free
do.
card. It's our independence. Adam Craker.